Welcome to the Concrete Briefing. I am your host, Carter Concrete. Today, we are performing an investigative deep dive into the life of a man who has sold over 250 million records, a Grammy-winning architect of the modern soundscape whose life story reads like a high-stakes Hollywood thriller. We are looking at the man behind the hits, Christian Ward, known to the world as Hitmaka. This is not merely a biography of a musician. It is a rigorous analysis of the intersection of Chicago's soul, the harrowing reality of the kidnap for reform industry, and the psychological fallout of a high-profile familial collapse. We will explore the linguistic roots of his reality rap, upbringing, and analyze the cultural history that forged one of the most polarizing and successful executives in the music industry today. Hitmaka's story begins in Chicago, a city he characterizes as a real soulful town that builds a person to be tough. However, our analysis reveals a profound paradox in his upbringing. Unlike the stereotypical narrative of the struggling artist, Ward was born into significant wealth. His father was a real estate mogul with a portfolio of 15 apartment buildings. Young Christian lived in the suburbs with personal chefs and carried gourmet soup to school in a thermos. Despite this insulation, the cultural history of 1990s Chicago exerted a magnetic pull. Ward was drawn to the streets, fueled by the reality rap era dominated by figures like DMX and Jay-Z. We argue that this was a psychological search for authenticity, a common drive for those raised in environments where their identity feels predetermined by parental success. By 13, he was Pablo Escobar in his raps, creating a persona so compelling it ignited a massive bidding war, eventually landing him a deal with DMX. This is where our story shifts from a musical ascent into a dramatic thriller. Following his parents' divorce, Ward became a problem child. While living in New Jersey under the mentorship of DMX, a firearm incident in his home prompted his mother to take a drastic, controversial measure. In a move mirroring the most intense investigative documentaries, Ward's mother orchestrated what can only be described as a legal kidnapping. While at a mall in Chicago, he was intercepted by two large men, restrained with plastic ties, and whisked away to O'Hare Airport. He was forcibly relocated to Thompson Falls, Montana, and later to a facility called High Impact in Jamaica. The conditions were harrowing and provide the linguistic roots for his later resilience. At level 1 status, he subsisted on unseasoned oatmeal and a single boiled egg, enduring 5-hour worksheet sessions where even a slight head movement resulted in a violation. He was so isolated that he was unaware the events of September 11th had even occurred. This period is a critical influence on his personality. It stripped him of his initial record deal and left deep psychological wounds regarding his relationship with his mother, a rift that persists to this day. After 10 months, his father successfully extracted him from the Montana facility. Ward eventually moved to Los Angeles, living on a television studio lot and sleeping in the dressing room of the artist Eve. It was here that he was rebranded as Young Berk. Success returned with the hit Sexy Can I, but the drama remained high stakes. During the music video shoot, Berk was arrested for a minor drug offense. In a remarkable twist of fate, it was Shaquille O'Neal, who had a partnership with the label, who personally bailed him out so the production could be completed. However, the definitive turning point in our analysis occurred in 2008 in Detroit. Following a dispute over unpaid appearances, Ward's chain was taken by club security. This incident effectively blackballed his career as a rapper. While many would have crumbled, we argue that this setback was the catalyst for his most successful evolution. Ward underwent what he describes as an ego death, transitioning from Young Berk, the artist, to Hitmaka, the super producer and executive. His argument for longevity in a fickle industry is based on a professional, service-oriented mindset. He argues, I provide a service. When you're useless and you can't be used, then they ain't going to mess with you no more. He has redefined the role of a producer as a creative director, often completing entire records, hooks, and arrangements, included before an artist even steps into the studio. Finally, we must analyze the man himself. Hitmaka candidly refers to himself as damaged goods. Our analysis points to the 2-decade-long rift with his mother as the primary influence on his skepticism regarding personal relationships. He makes a cynical but calculated argument regarding wealth and fame. He believes that in his position, true authenticity in a partner is nearly impossible to find. He views most women as fishing for the same dude who earns $10 million a year, leading him to reject traditional monogamy. Culturally, he identifies with a Delta Force style of operation, tactical, private, and precise. His refusal to forgive his mother for perceived past manipulations has created a personality that prioritizes currency over culture and work over relationships. He views the music business as a high-stakes game of Pac-Man. Follow the pattern. Avoid the ghosts and win at all costs. Christian Hitmaka Ward is a survivor of the industry's most volatile peaks and valleys. From being a kidnapped teenage star to becoming a vice president at Atlantic Records, he has mastered the art of the pivot. He is a man who finds beauty in imperfection and remains a relentless workaholic, driven by a fear of the bottom and a desire for generational wealth. Whether he ever finds the safe space he seeks in therapy is a question only time can answer. But the facts of his journey are undeniable. He is an architect who rebuilt himself from the ground up. That is the briefing for today. I'm Carter Concrete, and this has been the Concrete Briefing.